In a world where sports have stretched beyond the fabric of reality and podcasts became as common as potholes, there were two guys in Morgantown, West Virginia who desired to do something different. These two guys came up with an idea to bring real life back to the arena of sports and hopefully be somewhat entertaining along the way. These two guys are certainly no experts, and they're definitely not comedians. They just think they are. This is the Extra Medium Podcast, and here are those two guys.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Thank you for tuning in to Season 2, Episode 13 of the Extra Medium Sports Podcast. I am not Justin Jackson, sports editor of the Dominion Post. I am Michael Griffith, a sports reporter for the Dominion Post, filling in today for our good friend Justin. He's working on some important interviews over there at the WVU Women's Basketball Facility. I think they might have done something special over the weekend. I'm joined by
a little something.
Yeah,
there.
just a little something. But I am joined by the always entertaining Matt.
Legend, man. Happy to have you here. I feel like the teacher's not at school today. We're watching movies. But anyway, I'm Matt Amory, former WVU lineman and state champion at Morgantown High.
Yeah,
we got the legend at the helm, man.
Hey, we're putting the pedal to the metal.
We're putting
today,
the pedal to the metal, bro.
If we were watching movies, though, we would be watching some pretty entertaining stuff because we got some very special things happening in the world of sports, WVU, high school sports alike. Speaking of, we have the West Virginia women's basketball team coming off their Big 12 tournament title win over TCU on Sunday. What was that like? I mean, my goodness.
The hype is real, and I'm so excited. And are we going to host a regional? I don't even know if I was supposed to say that yet. I don't know if I stole any of your,
honestly,
but like that's what
we need to put it out. We need to put it out there. We need to manifest it. Bring the NCAA tournament to Hope Coliseum, bring it to Morgantown.
Hey, NCAA, let me put a PSA out here for you. Is PSA even the right word? Whatever.
Yeah.
You will not regret coming to Morgantown.
No.
You think that thing would be sold out?
Oh, it's going to be shoulder to shoulder for a women's basketball
man.
game. You're going to have two of them in
I'm
there,
getting
too, as long
hyped
as
up
they
just
win.
talking about it.
So, yes, coming off that 62-53 victory against TCU in the finals of the Big 12 tournament, like we said, the Mountaineers now await to see if they will host a regional. We'll find that out on Saturday, and then the brackets will be released on Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern.
I can't wait till Saturday, but guess what? I had no choice. But also, in addition, we got a wonderful show today. A special guest today. We will also have University High wrestling coach Ken Mizell returning to the show, friend of the show. The Hawks just won their third state championship in a row after scoring 246 points and holding off Parkersburg for the Division I state title last weekend in Huntington. Man, I just saw some of those pictures from Ben.
Yeah.
Oh, golly.
Yeah.
Those things are beautiful, man.
Yeah.
What an awesome time.
3 state title winners for the Hawks.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, I mean, they continue to do it year after year. What can you say? I mean, they're a program. I mean, there's differences between teams and programs, and university's a program when it comes to wrestling.
I mean, and just like that run Parkersburg South had, it, I dare we say dynasty.
Yeah.
But, I mean, anyway, we'll have Coach Mizell on later. Excited to have that.
There's also the start of the state girls basketball tournament in Charleston. That's happening this morning when we're recording. That's on Tuesday. You're listening to this on a Thursday. By Thursday, we've already had 12 games played down there, but that's going on this morning. University High and Morgantown High will both be in first-round action on Thursday when you're hearing this. The Hawks got the number 7 seed. They're going to play Parkersburg, the number 2 seed, at 1 p.m., and the 3rd-seeded Morgantown has the morning tip-off against the number 6 seed Cabell Midland. That's going to be bright and early at 9:30 in the morning. So if you're listening to this when it comes out at 10 o'clock on Thursday, that game's probably almost a halftime. So get your eyes on that if you need. So we'll have a breakdown of all that. A lot going on. It's March Madness, right?
Dude, it is a great time of the year.
Right.
And it's getting warmer here.
Yes.
If
I hit the golf course soon.
If I didn't have to dress nice today, I would be wearing shorts. Today's a great day for the golf course, my man.
We'll have all that. Busiest time of the year, but it's the best time of the year. Matt, go ahead and tell the good people who our sponsors are.
Well, I'm glad you asked. The Extra Medium Sports Podcast is brought to you by The Hotel Morgan. Whether you're interested in hosting a sophisticated corporate retreat, a joyful baby shower, or a spectacular wedding reception, Hotel Morgan provides a backdrop steeped in nearly a century of Morgantown's beautiful history, reimagined with boutique comfort and 1920s era charm. We take pride in making every event a memorable and stylish experience.
And where are you going to find our podcast?
Absolutely, my friend. You can always find a link to the Extra Medium Sports Podcast at www.dominionpost.com or find us on social media at Spotify and YouTube.
All right, we are now joined by University High wrestling coach Ken Mizell. The Hawks are celebrating their third straight state wrestling championship, the school's fourth wrestling state championship overall. Coach, thank you very much for coming back on the podcast. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully you're got a little sleep after the weekend. I know it was a hectic weekend
What
for
a
you guys.
weekend.
Yeah, I mean they go nonstop with those wrestling tournaments down there. So, Coach, just kind of take us through the weekend. I know that it was eventful. It was at times it was a battle as you guys expected going in. So, just take us through the weekend. What really made the difference for your team going into the title matches?
Yeah, I think we knew it was going to be a battle. Parkersburg's got a great team, and we knew it was actually, this is only the second time in the history of the state tournament that the second-place team had over 200 points.
Wow.
So we knew it was going to be a battle. We were going into it shorthanded.
Right.
We had one of our wrestlers who didn't make weight at regionals, and it wasn't just one of our wrestlers. It was a wrestler who was ranked first in the state, who had beaten the kid that won states at that weight class. He beat him 13-4. So not having him really hurt, and then of course, returning state champ Brody Kaler got hurt in football, and so we talked a lot during the year, and especially during that last week, about how special it would be to win it when it's really hard.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it was up and down the whole tournament. It really was. Like I said, Parkersburg's got a great team, and that last consolation round that wasn't what did it, but that's what made us in a position to still win.
Yeah. Obviously, you're talking about Ethan, two of your wrestlers, specifically Ethan Koloski at 285, and then Ryder Hastings at 215. We talked about yesterday on the phone, man. Ethan he lost his second match of the tournament on Friday, right? And then did nothing but turn around and just run through the bracket after that. I mean, he had, I think it was all pins except for one technical fall going through the consolation, and he came all the way back and finished third, as Ryder Hastings did. I think Ryder lost in the quarterfinals, not his second match, but still came back and faced that adversity. And like you said on the phone yesterday, it goes from your goal being one thing to your goal immediately changing to, focusing back on the team. And it goes from you wanting that state title to you having to do what you have to do to get third and to get your team those points. So just what is it about those consolation rounds that, you've done it a million times as a coach, seeing kids maybe get upset or fall short, but then having to still turn around, and they're just kids, turn around and flip their script and do all that. So what is it about those guys that was so impressive about this weekend?
Well, it's really hard. It's really easy to say and talk about, but when you've wrestled your whole life to win a state title, and then to know that you can't do that, it's really hard. But you have to frame it as best available. Right. And at that point, the best available is third, and that's got to reframe your goal. As hard as it is, it's got, it teaches you about life. Sometimes in life you don't get what you want, and you have to reframe it. And like you said, it's a little easier to reframe when you know, okay, well, this is not only for me, but this is for my team as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but it is difficult, but those guys did a great job of doing that.
Coach, is that mental toughness, something you instill from day one with that going against adversity? Like you said, when things get really hard and against all odds, it seems like that's happening to you all quite a bit, but you just keep coming out on top, which is so easy to say. And when the walls are closing in, dare I say, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face. Are you instilling this mental toughness from day one, or?
Yeah, I hope so. We'd like to think so. That and again, not so much for wrestling, but for life. That
yes, sir.
That's going to happen.
Absolutely.
And so to have that mental toughness to be able to say, I don't feel good right now. I didn't get what I want, but I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to get what's best available for me right now. And yeah, we do try and instill that from day one. And but it's hard, and it's hard for these guys.
Oh, absolutely.
But when they look back at it, if they didn't do it and they ended up, we call it the semi-slide. If you make it to the semis, the worst you can get is sixth, and if you lose in the semis and then end up sixth, you're going to kick yourself.
Yeah.
When you're 35
Absolutely.
years old, and so we talk about that a lot, and our guys came through and did it.
Yeah, we are on the line with UHS wrestling head coach Ken Mizell. The Hawks just won their third state wrestling title in a row. They joined Parkersburg South, Parkersburg, and John Marshall as large schools who have won at least 3 wrestling titles in a row. Coach, did you know that in Class AA, Oak Glen won 13 in a row between 97 and 2009?
Holy moly.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah. I didn't know what the number was, but I knew they had a run there that they were pretty dominant.
I thought it was a typo when I saw that online.
Yeah.
I was like, how is that even possible? I mean, you might have people's kids coming on the team at that point that won it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And the other thing, too, that I told you at Parkersburg, which was only the second time that a team scored 200 points and finished second. During the tournament, actually, it was during regionals. Somebody came up to me and said, you guys have a chance to break the all-time scoring record at the state tournament. And, typical coach, I'm like, I don't even want to hear that. We don't care. We just want to win. And now that it's all over, I did some research. We scored the 9th most points.
Wow.
In 246 and a half, I think we had something like that.
Wow.
But the most is like 280 something. And, you put the kid that didn't make weight in there getting to the finals. Exactly. You put Brody Kaler in there getting to the finals. Then we're sniffing that number, but which, again, is not, But what I was going to say was when I researched it, and it pains me to say this, but, hey, it's good for them, every team that was above 246, what we have, it was Parkersburg South.
Wow. Every single one.
Every single one.
Every one.
Wow.
Okay.
That's incredible.
Yep. So now in the top, we're the only one in the top 10 other than Parkersburg South.
Wow. That is a really good stat right there, honestly.
It made me think back to when we were building the program. You guys are probably too young to remember the NCAC conference.
Right.
And there was a traveling big bronze trophy that you got for winning that tournament. And Fairmont Senior and North Marion were the only 2 teams to ever win it.
Wow.
And then we did.
Yeah.
And actually, I don't know if it was right or not, but the very last year of the NCAC, we won it, and so we kept it.
No, that's awesome.
Hey,
that's awesome.
Hey,
yes,
I think that's perfect. It's
beautiful.
It's like trophies in college football. Like you keep the trophy until you play again. So
yeah, that's right.
It's like WVU Virginia Tech got a trophy and they haven't played for a while. We're keeping
the Black Diamond trophy.
So Coach, I wanted to kind of talk about your obviously the team state title you had, but the individual state titles. You had 3 wrestlers that won titles. You had Nico Mizell, your son, sophomore at 144 pounds. We had Jason Walker at 150 pounds, and then Maximus Fortier, who might just have the best wrestling name in the world, at 175 pounds, and Maximus just had an absolutely dominant tournament. So let's just I want to start with we'll get to Nico at the end there, but I want to start with Jason Walker. Just kind of tell us his story about this kid, man. I mean, he just seems like he just gets on the mat and takes care of business and then goes about his way, man. But just kind of tell me about Jason Walker's season and what really culminated for him this weekend.
He first of all, he's just a great kid. He's a great kid to be around. He doesn't ever get too down. Like even in a loss, he had a couple overtime losses this year and just doesn't. He's just a great kid.
Yeah.
And we knew he was the best kid in the state, but there's always people out there, and it just worked out that the kid that we thought he would wrestle in the finals from Parkersburg got upset in the semifinals by a kid that that Jason had wrestled 3 times.
Oh wow!
And beat pretty bad all 3 times, and he did the same in the finals. he can just from an athletic standpoint, when he is on, he's really good. My brother still lives in Long Island, New York, and he came down to the tournament to surprise my son and was very impressed with him. He was like, "Who is that kid?
Yeah,
that kid is special."
That's awesome.
And so when he really turns it on, he can be really good. And he wants to wrestle in college, and he's, we're working with him. He's not sure where he's going to go yet, but he has the potential to be really special. I think he's got a really high ceiling.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. That was going to be my next question. I know he was a senior, and if you're winning like he is, you're definitely got to be going to the next level somewhere. But next we'll talk about Maximus Fortier. Maximus is already secured to go somewhere for college. He's committed to Virginia Tech. I think he did that last year as a sophomore. Only a junior, man. I mean, this guy, I think every match was a pin or a major decision, even the championship, 16-1 in the championship. I mean, I don't even know where to start with him. I mean, is he just one of the next big wrestlers in West Virginia, I guess?
Oh, he already is. I mean, so he's been ranked as high as 6 or 7 in the country.
Wow.
And, he went to a big tournament called the Ironman at the beginning of the year and didn't, went 2-2 and was very disappointed. That's his 2 losses. He's only had 2 losses all year.
Wow.
But then we went to Powerade, which is the second toughest tournament in the country. And, he really excelled. He made it to the finals, and he won it.
Yeah.
And to win the Powerade is really, really special. People not in wrestling don't understand how special that is.
Right.
And so, we try and tell them, you won the Powerade. This is nothing. And that's really true of our whole team. One of the messages I had all week was, this is about the 3rd toughest tournament that we go to during the year. Wow. And so just go wrestle. It's just a wrestling match. That's why I don't like, when kids want to dye their hair purple or they want to do something special for a state tournament. It's not special. It's just last.
Another day at the office.
It's just another tournament. And sometimes when you put too much on it, you don't perform as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we really focus on, hey, it's not special. It's just another tournament, and it's not even the toughest tournament we wrestle in.
Yeah. Max obviously winning his 3rd state title in his career. He was at Fairmont Senior for his first 2 years, and then obviously his junior year at UHS just leaving no doubt, if you will. Obviously,
no doubt, man. Golly.
And then, Coach, last but not least, your son Nico, sophomore, came back after a runner-up year last year at 132. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he came back at 144 this year as a sophomore, and he won a really solid, close match in that final 8-6. Just tell me about that, and how many times did he wrestle that Parkersburg wrestler?
That was the 4th time.
4th time.
Wow.
What was his record against him this year?
Colston is he was a returning state champion.
Wow.
And we knew he was a really good opponent, and to beat somebody. If somebody's not very good, you beat them 4 times, it's not a big deal.
Right,
absolutely.
But somebody of that caliber, to beat them 4 times, and their coach was telling them, hey, just win the one that matters, right?
Sure,
I'm sure that was his message all week. So to beat somebody 4 times, and being his father, I've seen what he's done, and not just wrestling-wise, just goal setting.
Yeah.
He had his goals all over the house. All over his locker here at school. He had a picture on his wall in his room of last year's, when he got beat in the finals, that kid raising his hand and Nico walking off the mat with his head down. That picture was in his room for 365 days,
Wow.
So just to see what he did to try and get to where he is really special.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations to all of you guys, like we said. You're going to get some of these kids back next year, too. Max and Nico are both going to be back next year. Like you said, Brody Kaler, who wasn't with you guys this year due to his football injury, he's only a sophomore right now. He should hopefully be back next year. You guys obviously are not a rebuilding program. You're a reloading program. So just I know we're just off the heels of the state tournament, man, but you obviously have to be excited for what your wrestling room is looking like.
Well, we are. And you got to remember the two freshmen this year. Jude Benson, who beat not only the last year's AAA state champ, but also the AA state champ.
Wow.
And then Jacob Hensley, who up until January was a JV wrestler.
What a story!
Now, a really good JV wrestler.
Yeah.
Just couldn't get in the lineup. He started the year at 138. He went down to 132, and then, Caden Nyman tears his ACL at the OVAC tournament, and we're like, well, maybe Jacob could get down to 26, and we made sure he was certified there, and he goes down to 126, and not only makes it to the finals of the state tournament, but the kid he lost to is really, really talented.
Oh, absolutely. Kai Plinsky from Washington.
Was 1-0 going into the third period, you know.
Wow.
And so having him and Jude back and all of our other placers, plus what we're getting from the middle school, you say we're just off the state tournament, but I just sent a message out to all our parents and all our, there's a big national tournament a lot of our guys are going to at the end of this month, and it's that's what it takes. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of work, and we didn't get there by accident. We got there by all the extra work.
Yeah, there's true no off season for you guys. Really, it sounds like, huh?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Just want to kind of go off that. I mean, how much do you? Obviously, kids nowadays play a million sports. They're doing a million things all year with school. But how much emphasis do you try to put on with your wrestlers as far as getting the off-season wrestling and all that stuff?
Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword because I know how important sports are, all sports, and most kids are not going to go on and compete in college. So you want them to compete in as many sports as they can and have fun and enjoy your 4 years in high school, because you'll never do it again.
Yeah.
But then the other side of that is getting the wrestling in. You take my son, for example. My son wasn't going to play football this year, and they kind of talked him into it. And God bless Coach Snyder, gave him some options that maybe. Being able to leave practice early some days to go up to Quest, which is a club in Pennsylvania, and wrestle in some tournaments. And now he was JV, he was a JV quarterback. So it's hard. It's hard, and not just wrestling, any sport. It's
Absolutely.
hard. And so I always tell kids, look, if you want to go play sports, play them all. Absolutely. But if you're not going to play them, okay, here's your options. Here's what you should be doing.
Yeah.
So, but it's hard in this day and age to try and play a bunch of sports and excel, especially if you want to wrestle in college.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's a double-edged sword for sure.
Yeah, I mean, some of these kids don't take breaks. I mean,
they don't take breaks.
Brody Kaler, for example, he's a football, wrestling, track kid, and then over the summer he's getting better at all three of those sports.
Yep.
So, his body kind of told him, I need a break, I think,
Well, just so at the state tournament, we were still there. Jacob Hensley comes up to me and says, hey, I know we're wrestling at the end of the month at that Nationals. Are we practicing Monday? I'm like, no, we're not practicing Monday.
I love that.
We're taking time off.
Yeah, just tell him to enjoy his Monday with his medal for once.
That was his question. Are we practicing on Monday?
Yeah.
No. And now with the flex days, you have that so-called flexibility to be able to do that. But no, Jacob, we're taking this week off.
Yeah, I mean, oh, man, he's probably itching to get back to his sophomore season after this year that he had. Just what a story for him, man. I've been following him since he got on the scene, really since that Parkersburg duel when he got that big upset over C.J. Carotis.
Yep.
So just really awesome
beat that
story.
Kid 3 times.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely, and like you said, just not a place on the team, and then, here he comes. I think I read something online that Jacob Hensley was a 5-time state champion before high school. Like in the middle
Something
school,
like that. A youth and middle school.
I mean, my gosh,
that
5 times. That's incredible.
I mean, this is like a call Netflix bringing the ESPN 20 for 20, and you had or 30 for 30. Is that what it? Golly, the concussions are getting to me at my older age. But it seems like you have several of these stories.
And
Coach, I just want to ask, with your son winning winning the state championship, like, did you feel any separation? What was the emotions like? Like, did you feel any separations from Coach, the father, like during that time, or I'm sure, like, wrestlers are the Navy SEALs, the toughest, mentally toughest athletes there are. I know your discipline was on point. Did you feel any of, like, emotion or get a little choked up?
I did. It's different when it's your son, especially.
Absolutely.
Look, most of our kids, and I'll talk about this in a second, most of our kids I've known since they were 5 years old, right? But when it's your son and you know every little thing, every time he went and trained, every lift, every tournament he went to, every goal he wrote down on the whiteboard in the basement, and you just know all that more than the other kids, I was just very happy for him because I know how much he wanted that. If he came in second, you don't love him any different. Nothing changes, nothing. But I know how important it was for him and how much he wanted that, how much disappointed he was the year before. So, yeah, it was really special.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like we said, we're on the line with Coach Ken Mizell off of his third straight state wrestling tournament win with his UHS Hawks. Coach, just again, congratulations, man. We love following your all story. I love following you guys year to year. It's just absolutely incredible what you guys do up there, and not just on the mat but off the mat, like you said. Just great kids, great people. It's fun to be around, and just the culture that you have when it comes to high school wrestling is not found anywhere else. Honestly, it's amazing.
I appreciate it, and again, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention. It starts at a young age. We are truly a program. Our youth coach, Donnie Jones, and our middle school coach, Joey Mail, we are all on the same page. We have meetings throughout the year as a program, and so that culture starts young. Like I said, a lot of the kids on our team, I've been quote unquote coaching, since they were 5 years old, so that's the difference. That not just wrestling starting young, but knowing what's expected in terms of behavior and grades and everything else just starts at a young age, and they know what the expectation is when they get in our wrestling room.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, we really appreciate the time. Hope you get just a little bit of downtime. It sounds like you're already back to the mindset there, but hopefully you get a little bit of a little downtime and enjoy spring break next week with Nico and everything like that. So we really appreciate the time, and we'll talk to you again real soon, Coach. Thanks.
Okay, thank you guys very much.
Take care.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Yep. Bye-bye.
And that was Coach Ken Mizell, head coach of the University High Wrestling team, off of his third straight state championship.
The three-time.
Yes.
Back.
Yes. Congratulations to them again. Thank you so much for Coach coming on. The first repeat guest we've had on the show.
Friend of a show, man.
Yes.
Friend of the show.
We can call him a good friend of the show.
Yeah, good
now.
Friend of the show.
Matt, go ahead and make us some more money, brother.
Oh, I got you, man. The Extra Medium Sports Podcast is brought to you by the Hotel Morgan. Host your guests in an elegant setting utilizing our refined meeting spaces, including 2 dedicated boardrooms and state-of-the-art conference technology. Elevate your event with delicious catering and craft cocktail service delivered by our on-site staff, Cafe and Bar, Anvil and Axe.
Thank you very much. All right, before we get into the start of the girls' state basketball tournament, wanted to talk about the excitement about the WVU women's team.
The excitement is brewing in the air, man.
Are they saving WVU athletics right now?
They 100% yes.
I mean, I'm going to start this hashtag build the statue for Mark Kellogg.
I love it. Hashtag build the statue, like retweet.
Yeah,
like retweet.
Yes, because I mean, what this guy is doing at the helm of this program is anything short of extraordinary. I
mean, the hype, not to go completely off script and off schedule here, but the hype of the season was big. We had a big, but to live up to it, and since we had that pink out, I would even see people showing up at work just so excited, and to take the Big 12 title, bring it back home from a wonderful TCU team.
Yeah,
that's something else. Oh, Lord above, please give us that regional.
Yeah.
Please give us that regional. That would be wonderful for Morgantown. And I love what you said. Dare you say saving the Mountaineer?
Yeah.
Intercollegiate athletic Interathletic. I don't know. They're doing wonderful.
Absolutely. I mean, just the hype around them is amazing. And like you said, it's been building and building all season. It's been building since Mark Kellogg stepped foot in Morgantown. Now at 77-22 record since he has taken over the helm of the Mountaineers. I think I read something that said since 2013 he is like 330 something and 83 or something as a head coach, which is an 80% win percentage. I'm glad that he's coaching our team.
I'm so glad. So it's safe to say he knows ball.
You know, the man knows ball.
He knows ball.
He knows ball. He knows every phase of the game. I mean, it's insane. I hope they keep him around for a long time because he has got this program on the most upward trajectory you could want to be for any basketball program, women's, men's, NBA, whatever you want to say.
And it's exciting what the dynamic it's bringing. We talked about a couple shows ago about like what would it take for Mountaineers women's basketball to like
get over the hump,
but like also become a staple for Mountaineer fans. Like for example, like we're always happy about football, we're always happy about men's basketball, we're excited.
Right
now, you're starting to see it in women's basketball, similar to several years ago with women's soccer getting very popular. And it's exciting times to see it happen and the program being built. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. Get the statue ready.
You know, I mean, I got. Do you know John Rothstein? He covers college basketball for CBS.
Yeah.
He has a lot of these like intricate sayings in college basketball, and for West Virginia men's basketball, he always says, "West Virginia basketball tougher than a long weekend at your in-laws." Right?
That's tough.
My saying from Mark Kellogg is Mark Kellogg more than good.
More than good. I love
they say Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Yeah. You know they're more than good. Mark Kellogg is more than good.
Wait. They're great.
He is great, and he might be more than great when it comes to
he might be more than great.
Are
we watching a legend being made? Let me ask a legend this particular question. Are we seeing a potential legend at West Virginia University women's basketball happen in front of our eyes?
The man's got everything he needs, and obviously he's a great coach, but with a great coach and a lot of success comes some great players.
Absolutely, yes.
Right, and
can't be done without the players.
No,
right?
can't obviously, and we have an all-timer coming on this roster that has grown into a legend of WVU athletics, and it's a really cool story with Jordan Harrison. That's obviously who we're talking about. MVP of the Big 12 tournament, led her team obviously to the title, averaging 15.3 points, 3.3 steals per game in the tournament. In the Colorado game, obviously in the semifinals, WVU won by a single point, 48-47. In that game, Colorado had the chance to win it with the final 5 seconds, and Jordan Harrison came up with the game-winning steal. She then scored 21 points on Sunday against TCU to lead WVU to the Big 12 title. It just back-to-back years now, the women's team, have produced players that are going to be forever remembered in the history of West Virginia women's basketball. You talk about J.J. Quinterly, arguably one of the best players in the program's history, and now, the next year, Jordan Harrison, here she is, Defensive Player of the Year in the Big 12, living up to that name in the tournament. But she also showed, hey, I can hoop a little bit on the offensive end. I can put the ball in the bucket, man. I mean, and she's the smallest player on the court. That's the best part about it, man. What is your take about Jordan Harrison, and not just Jordan? I mean, Sydney Shaw, Gia Cook. Like, what is it about this women's team that you think just makes a little difference?
Let me tell you, and just not that I'm dodging the question, but watching the championship when they won, seeing the emotion in their eyes in that interview, like there was like almost a tear shed. And I felt that in my emotions.
You know what it reminded me of?
What's that?
It reminded me of Owen Schmidt's interview after the Fiesta Bowl
for Bill Stewart.
Yes, and he was so emotional, and you heard Hail West Virginia playing in the background from the band in that arena, in the football stadium, and Owen Schmidt's he can't get his words out because he's just so happy. He's so emotional. He told his guys, like, I'm not leaving without that $1.3 million trophy or whatever, and it happened. And then, you put that as two interviews side by side. You put Jordan Harrison and Owen Schmidt, and here's Jordan, and just in tears. Can't even get words out. You hear the pet band in the background playing Hail West Virginia.
And I mean, like, in that point, really, we're in 2026. These college, let's just say back in my time, we didn't have as much. Back in my day in the 1800s, we went up. Oh, here we go. But we didn't have as much social media. We weren't talking as much.
Yeah.
Now you can say anything you really want. And for it to come down to that emotion, that truly shows the love she has for the university, the program, the coach, every one of those players. And to me, that said a lot. And dare I say, on the top 10 sound bites of West Virginia University and collegiate athletics, it just made my day.
Yeah.
Like, I got some walls up. It's hard to get into this. It's hard to get into these emotions, but no.
Oh, it was incredible.
It was incredible.
Yeah,
and
my wife was at the game, and she said she was in tears after the buzzer went off.
What a game to go and see!
Incredible. She got to go to all three of them. She's out there living my dream. You know.
What did she say about she had a good time watching?
Oh, absolutely. I think the Big 12 women's tournament had like their highest attendance they've had in a long time.
That's awesome.
It's amazing. So yeah, like we said, West Virginia women coming down. Winning the trophy.
I don't mean to interrupt, but NCAA, if you're listening.
Hey,
if you're listening, I think what we just said is a great reason to have a regional here in Morgantown, West Virginia at Hope Coliseum.
27-6, 14-4 in the Big 12, outright second place in the regular season. Run the table in the Big 12 tournament, and you win the conference championship. I mean,
it's good for the brand. It's good for the brand.
They've done everything they've needed to do to bring a regional to Morgantown. So.
And, we sat here and talked about it. We talked about it. It gives me similar vibes to when we were talking about the starting of the football season, what Clay Battelle needs to do, Morgantown University. But doing it is a completely different beast, and they are doing it right in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
We are watching this right in front of our eyes.
I just can't get over the fact about how you genuinely lose, like, your best player you've ever seen come through the school. And then you seem like you took a step. Like, that's what really gets me about Mark Kellogg is that, he's more than a coach, really. He's a program builder.
He's a program builder. To be a good coach too, you can get anybody to learn the X's and O's, and dare I say that might even be the easiest part. And it's not easy because it's its own science. You need to be a psychiatrist. You need to be a psychologist, a sociologist. And it's in addition to the recruiting and what's going on. Wonderful job.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you can't say enough about that.
Yeah. So in ESPN's latest bracketology, WVU is now projected as a 4 seed, which would bring a regional to Morgantown at the moment. They got the number 5 seed in that region would be Kentucky.
What a game.
An SEC school. SEC is a really strong women's basketball conference, as we always know. Kentucky is currently ranked 16th in the latest AP poll. They are 23-10 overall, had a 500 record in the in the SEC at 8-8. But they have some players. They are led by 6'5" center Clara Strack. She averages 17.1 points and 10 rebounds per game, averaging a double-double. Is a junior from Buffalo, New York. So it's going to be tough. And the NCAA tournament always has its surprises. Yeah. Even the women's tournament.
Of course. Surprises are inevitable.
Absolutely. So we'll see what happens. Like you said, they've done everything that they need to do to get a regional to Morgantown.
Can I interrupt you for 1 second?
Please.
Let me tell you, if you want a quick get-rich scheme, let me fill out my bracketology. Okay. Let me fill out my bracket. You pick the complete opposite, and you will become a rich man overnight.
Have a perfect bracket?
Well, I can pick it exactly wrong.
Okay.
You will have the perfect bracket. That's a quick get rich. So
you'll have the unperfect.
I will have the unperfect bracket.
Hey, that's honestly just as impressive.
It is.
Because think about that. It's just as difficult.
That's a natural talent. That's one of my natural talents. I can pick them wrong.
Get every single game wrong.
Every single game.
That's tough.
That's tough to do, but I can do it. Year after year, I have shown my resume with consistency of picking the wrong teams. So if you want to get rich quick, there you go. So if I see you driving a Bentley around, I know, I know where it came from.
Gotcha. Last time WVU hosted a women's NCAA tournament game in the Coliseum was 1992. That's the year I was born. That was 33 years ago.
92, man. Woo. Morgantown in 92 was different, man.
And the field at that time was only 48 teams. So it has expanded since then, obviously, which is nice, but don't expand it anymore.
Don't expand it no more.
That's just my opinion. Well, that's the discussion for another day. That's a discussion for another day.
350 teams.
Mountaineers projected as the same bracket as number 2 UCLA. So if they did make the Sweet 16, they are projected that they would be traveling to California to play UCLA, who is one of the best teams in the nation. If you didn't see what they did in the Big 12 championship game, the Big 10 championship game, the championship game, they beat Iowa Just by 50 points. No
by
big
50?
Deal. Yeah, it was absolutely insane. And that was the Big Ten championship, and that's Iowa.
Yeah, that's Iowa.
You know, my goodness.
You know, dare we say Caitlin Clark's alma mater?
Yeah,
I mean, they could, and I only say that because they know ball as well.
Yeah,
but but let's make it one step at a time. And you know what? We'll get those West Virginia Mountaineers.
That's right.
We'll bring it on. We'll see what those Brentwood. Bring on the Brentwood. I'll leave it at that. So, bring it on.
Very exciting. I mean, the Coliseum. You know, the roof's going to blow off of that place.
Yeah, it's going to be
at some point that weekend, man.
I mean, it will be nuts, and I've seen it before with my own eyes in men's basketball, football. Just how a wonderful, solid WVU Mountaineer,
right.
Packed Coliseum, packed stadium can really make a wonderful difference.
Yep.
I mean, dare I say, when locked in, Mountaineers they're one of the toughest fan bases. You don't want to get the Mountaineers locked in. You don't want to play in the Coliseum
in March. Don't play in the Coliseum in March. We'll just say that.
We'll just say that. What a wonderful time. What a wonderful time.
Yes, I mean, just what else could you ask for? Especially just when it comes to your home city, your own hometown. It's great for business. It's great for
it's
everything, man. It's going to be awesome. But that's not the only basketball going on.
What else is going on?
With March, there comes the madness, obviously, like they say. The high school version of March Madness is officially underway as of this morning on Tuesday in Charleston at the Charleston Coliseum and Convention Center. 32 girls basketball teams traveling to the state capitol this week. We have 8 teams per class. This morning, we had the single A. On Tuesday, we had the single A quarterfinals kicking off. We'll also have the double A quarterfinals in between each game today. The other 2 double A will be played on Wednesday in between all the triple A games. On Thursday, we'll have the local teams, University, like we said at the beginning of the show, and Morgantown. They'll be playing their quarterfinal matchups in Class Quad A. The Mohegans, the 3 seed, will be taking on the 6 seed, Cabell Midland. That'll be bright and early at 9:30 a.m. on Thursday.
Oh, brush your teeth and get to the court.
That's right. By the time you're hearing this, it'll probably be halftime, so get some eyes on that if you need. You can find probably some stats and some stuff over at metronews.com. Then the University Hawks, they're going to take on the number 2 seed, Parkersburg. They're playing as the 7 seed. That game is going to close the morning session at 1 p.m. So whichever team wins on Thursday, they'll advance to the semifinals on Friday that night, and then the winners of Friday's games will advance to the championship at 7:30 p.m. on Saturday. So Mohegans and Hawks both fighting for a state title. Morgantown actually has been in the last 4 state title games. They have made an appearance in the state title games the last 4 years, but they've only won one of them. They've come away with a state title in 2023, so they'll look to get back to the title game and hopefully make it go their way this time. So
I love this, and not to mention, we were watching some girls basketball earlier, some single A, Pocahontas, St. Mary's.
Pocahontas County, St. Mary's. Correct.
Let me tell you, the Legends' knowledge is extensive and impressive. I want to ask you this, just for our listeners. It doesn't have to be an off the grid pick or anything like that, but for the women's. Or for the girls and for the men's, is there a specific team that would be interesting to watch? Way to throw you on the spot.
No, I love it.
Is there a specific team that's like, hey, I want to come? I always am cheering for my Mohegans.
Sure.
But who else could I watch for in the men's and women's?
Yeah, so we'll just talk top seeds. I guess we can. So single A, you got top seeded Gilmer County. They are the defending state champion, and they have a pair of twins called the Dobbins twins, and they are both 6'4", 6'3", somewhere around there. Volleyball players, but they can also
ball. They know ball.
They can hoop too.
They know ball. Okay.
But they lost a really good all-state player, Allie Ellison, last year. She's playing at Rio Grande, I believe now, and I think she was freshman of the year in her conference.
Wow.
In her freshman year of college, which is really amazing.
Yeah.
Rio Grande had a really good, I think, a 20-win season this year on their women's team. So, but they come back. They're the 1 seed after losing one of their best players they've ever had. Like we just talked to the West Virginia team.
Next woman up.
So you got Tug Valley, the number 2 seed. They'll put up a good fight with Gilmer. And then like we were just watching, the number 3 seed St. Mary's.
Yeah.
That's another good team. They were putting the hurt on Pocahontas County.
It was some physical basketball. You can tell the jump from the regular season to the playoffs.
That was
getting me hyped up, man. I was like, look, They're playing some physical basketball.
Absolutely.
You better be ready to play.
Double A, you got James Monroe as the number 1 seed. They're probably the favorite in Double A, but they'll have some teams like Wyoming East and some other teams like that, the Charleston Catholics, stuff like that they'll have to go through. Moving on to Triple A, we got the top-seeded Greenbrier East, the Fighting Jim Justices.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Senator Justice trying to bring home his state title. He's got the number 1 team in the class. They are undefeated right now. They'll be taking on the number 8 seed Hampshire on Wednesday. That game's at 5:30. Number 2 is Spring Valley in AAA. They're actually the defending Quad A state champions. They defeated Morgantown.
They're the defending Quad A. I heard that correct.
Defending Quad A, you heard that correct. But after the most recent realignment done by the SSAC, they dropped to Double A. They're the number 2 seed. They're going to be taking on the Bees of East Fairmont at 1 p.m. on Wednesday. Then we got the number 4 seed John Marshall taking on number 5 Kaiser on Wednesday night at 9 p.m. That's probably going to be my game of the day.
That sounds like one heck of a game.
Maybe my game of the tournament in the early rounds, because John Marshall, they got some.
So
some
you're
good
saying
players.
tune in to John Marshall.
Tune in to John Marshall, and pay attention to Riley Storm. Returning first-team All-Stater from last year. Averaged almost a triple-double last year, and she can score.
Wow,
she
a triple-double.
She can do everything. She can put it on the floor. She can rebound. She can play defense. Score at all 3 levels. Really talented player.
Is she a guard or?
She's tall, but she plays like a guard.
Gotcha.
Probably like a small forward kind of. But she'll be going against Kaiser, who's also a very good program, and they have a player named Bibbs Felton.
Bibbs Felton.
What a great basketball name, right?
Name,
Bibbs Felton, and Bibbs Felton can absolutely get to work as well, or on the hardwood. So we're gonna see a great matchup all throughout Wednesday. Wednesday is looking like a really good day of basketball if you have a chance to get your eyes on the hoops down there in Charleston. So then we'll finally have the Quad A, like we said. Morgantown's taking on Cabell Midland Thursday morning. University will take on Parkersburg on Thursday afternoon. And then from there, whoever advances will play Friday and Saturday. So a lot going on. We'll have the boys next week, the boys state tournament next week. We're not going to get into a whole lot of boys basketball, but Wednesday night was the regional co-finals across Mon County. Clay Battelle, Morgantown, and University all hosted games on Wednesday night. Those results should be online at our website if you want to look for those stories there, or you can find them wherever you can get your sports information online. And then you can find where all the state basketball seedings will be for the boys. So it's just a great time, and it's really the favorite time of the year.
So we kind of you'll be hearing more about boys basketball next week, but these girls are ready.
Yeah, they deserve their time.
They deserve their time to shine, and you will not regret tuning in.
No.
Because we were watching Pocahontas, St. Mary's, Single A.
It's so great down there. I mean, it's a long tournament. Like Tuesday through Saturday is a grind, but man, like 6 games a day and then 4 on Saturday. It's just like you can't get enough of it.
Were you saying, this is interesting, if in case you want to go and check it out in person, were you saying they redid like the seating? Or?
Yeah, the Charleston Coliseum, Civic Center, if you will. That's for those Charleston connoisseurs like myself who call it the Civic Center still. Brand new seating, which has been needed for, oh my gosh, years and years and years, man.
So you had to get yourself a comfortable seat.
Brand new seating. They got a new floor, a new facelift.
It looked beautiful.
It did.
I don't
even
clean. Really know what it looked like before, but it looked
clean. So, spring break next week during the boys tournament for WVU, if you guys have some time, get down to the Coliseum and watch some good basketball, man. These kids, they put on one heck of a show, and they deserve to have the audience for it.
Deserve every bit of it, and dare I say, you may leave surprised.
Oh yeah,
how exciting! The quality of basketball, and
it's.
I remember watching women's basketball or girls basketball from way back. I graduated in 2001. That's the Mesozoic era of the dinosaurs. But you can tell. You would have certain teams that were superstars.
Yeah.
You have your superstars on there, and they'd be top-heavy, like top-loaded teams. Like your number 1 and 2 seed are probably going to meet in the finals. Now you are really seeing some tough competition between the entire bracket.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of wide open.
Hey, shout out to West Virginia growing their sports programs.
Absolutely.
Shout out to West Virginia.
Absolutely.
So this is more than just a one sport
right
thing. This is a shout out to West Virginia growing their sports, and I think this is going to be an awesome time. Give a look to that the girls' state tournament.
Absolutely. It is now time for our favorite segment. We call it "What Caught Matt's Eye."
Matt's eye, Matt's. No, we're not doing it. But that's what I start this song every time, and I don't do it. Okay, what caught Matt's eye? I got two things for you.
Okay.
Shout out to the legend Michael Griff bringing this to my attention. Miami of Ohio Redhawks.
The Redhawks.
So if I had to, if I asked you what the Miami of Ohio Redhawks college basketball men's basketball team's record is today, I did not in a million years would think it would be 31-0. They have not lost. And then you say, well, who's their competition? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we got Akron.
Yep.
Akron can ball.
Absolutely.
Marshall, they can ball.
Absolutely.
Buffalo can ball. UMass can ball. And that's just a few, to name a few.
Right, absolutely.
But 31-0, they begin the MAC tournament run on the 12th versus UMass.
Correct.
But my gosh. Okay, let me ask you this, Legend.
Yeah.
Is there a chance in Hades that, let's say they lose the first round to UMass, that they're left out of the tournament, a 31-1 team?
Absolutely not.
Okay, because that would be insane.
Now, if they would have lost maybe 2 or 3 games, then you're talking.
So a huge difference between 28 and 3.
Because also the one thing, I don't mean to take your segment, but
no, I'm asking you, brother.
The one thing about their record is they played 3 non-Division I teams, so technically those aren't real wins.
Gotcha.
So they're more like 28-0.
But still.
But still, I digress.
I mean, and that's not too far away from us, and I have to give a shout out.
It's hard to do
to the Miami Redhawks.
It's 31-0.
I don't care. Like, even if you do have a quote unquote cupcake schedule, which they didn't have, there's some tough teams on there.
I mean, they're playing mid majors, but they are a mid major.
They are a mid major. It's not like they're Kentucky Wildcats or the Calipari Kentucky Wildcats playing.
Well, the other thing is, this is the NIL era, the transfer era.
Yes.
Mid-major schools don't have this anymore.
Yes, they don't have it. They don't.
Because their good players are gone.
Yes.
Like, they're leaving after the year.
I don't know what is going on here, but it is awesome. I think you should check in. So this game, the MAC tournament run begins on the 12th.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, we got some good games in conference.
Oh man, best time of the year. Conference.
It's a great time of the year.
I almost enjoy conference tournament week more than the NCAA tournament because it's just like as you go through the week, the games just get more and more like I don't know. It's insane.
Let me tell you though. Back in the day, the Big East Conference, the tournament. Okay, anyway, I
digress.
MSG,
baby.
Am I digressing in my own segment? Like anyway. So that was the first what caught Matt.
Put him in the field.
What caught Matt? Put him in the field. Put him NCAA. In the field. But anyway, so let's go to the next one. Pensacola, Florida, the Sun Belt Conference tournament for women's basketball. Coastal Carolina versus South Alabama. The Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. I almost said chandeliers. After we just got that lesson too.
Your baseball coach would be mad at you about that.
As he should be. As he should be. He has every right to be. So this is kind of nuts. Again, Pensacola, Florida, Sun Belt Conference tournament, women's basketball. Coastal Carolina versus South Alabama. About 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You see some swings, some haymakers thrown, and an all-out kind of brawl breaks out.
It happened pretty quick.
Now, I kind of had to examine and see what happened. Towards the end, you end up having 8 players ejected.
Wow.
And a ref knocked out cold on the floor.
Yeah, she was struggling.
I wonder what... this was the South Alabama threw the punch. Was it South Alabama?
It looked like it.
Yeah. And
one player said
something to another, and
just sent her off.
Punch was thrown. And after that punch was thrown, the ref, she's doing her due diligence. I got to break this up. Everyone's safety. Gets hit with, I don't know, and it looks like the player fell on her. And let me tell you, if you've never had someone fall on your neck, it's kind of
it's not great.
It's not a great experience. I mean, it's very scary. It was an all-out just...
Yeah, you had the benches coming.
You had the benches coming. So I think 6 players from South Alabama were ejected because they came off the bench to protect their buddies. But my gosh, Can I tell you this? And I don't know if this makes me a bad person.
I don't think so.
But I love the intensity.
Hey.
That means there's passion. They're not fighting if there's no passion there, if nobody cares.
Yeah.
And this is South Alabama versus Coastal Carolina. They're not fighting if nobody cares. It's a good, well, I don't want to say it's a good time, but it was intense.
Yeah.
It definitely caught my eye. Speedy recovery to that ref.
Yeah.
But my gosh, gee golly whiz, that was an intense time, and hopefully we don't see any more of those fights, or maybe hopefully we do. I don't know. Who am I to decide?
High stakes in these games.
There's some high stakes.
We need all the players we can get on the floor, you know.
This is where I'm at. I'm also on a diet, by the way. You said high stakes. All I heard was steak. All I heard was steak. But that's our what caught Matt's eye.
That is all the time we have for today, unfortunately. Once again, we thank you for listening in and want to thank University High Wrestling coach Ken Mizell for joining us earlier. Once again, congratulations to the Hawks for winning their 3rd consecutive state wrestling title. We expect Justin will be back next week. Until then, Matt, take us home.
Thanks for joining us today on the Extra Medium Sports Podcast, which is brought to you by the Hotel Morgan. Select a wedding venue where you can host your perfect ceremony and grand reception in one of our 2 magnificent ballrooms. From the restored historic architecture to the stylish, comfortable guest rooms for your party, Hotel Morgan provides an environment where every guest feels cared for in the beautiful heart of downtown Morgantown, now booking 2026 dates in our brand new 8th floor ballroom. Lastly, this is the Extra Medium Podcast, where couches are safe, but the takes are on fire. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you all next week.